has watched the Improper Butter story from the very beginning 3 years ago, which is scary. It seems like it was only yesterday. Listening to Aaron beforehand, I feel like I should have gone before him, because he's maybe about 5-6 years ahead of us in his story. But Improper Butter, I'm just going to use a holding slide today, and I'm going to talk you through the story of myself and my co-founder, where we came from, what our vision is, and where we're going. And I have a few packs there of Improper Butter, so if there's any questions at the end, any good questions, you might get a packet of Improper Butter. So Improper Butter was started by myself and my best friend Hannah when we left UCD in 2013. We actually left the year previously, 2012, and I had just come off an internship in Goldman Sachs on the trading floor in London that summer, and hadn't seen any of the Olympics. It was London 2012. I was working maybe 15 hours a day and absolutely disheartened, and thinking like, all my friends are going into graduate careers now. This is not the route for me at all. So I decided to take a year out, a gap year after my degree, and that was where I allowed myself to explore my love of cooking and of food. So I took myself off to the French Alps, where I managed to blag myself a job as a chalet chef for quite a prestigious ski company. I didn't have any background or training in food, but I had a great interest from a very young age. I was, basically destroyed the kitchen at any given opportunity. Any presents that I used to get, gadgets, cookbooks. So it was a great interest of mine. So I managed to get this job as a chalet chef for an English company in France, and there I was based for 5 months, and I was basically cooking breakfast, lunch, dinner to quite a high standard, or high expectations for the guests. So really I pushed myself from having no background in food, like no idea really how to combine flavours, techniques and things like that. I mean, I literally just filled my suitcase with cookbooks, which is crazy. And but quickly, I was on the ground and I had to learn how to, create this delicious food. So I guess anyone who's interested in food and cooking or eating, which is probably most of you, will understand that there's a couple of ingredients that chefs really rely on to make food delicious. One of them is butter, the other is probably salt, and then the other would be the spices and the herbs, which Aaron would have touched on previously. So I was reliant on these fabulous ingredients to deliver great flavour. But being in France, and I know our previous speaker was speaking about how French produce and quality of food is absolutely excellent, but the butter doesn't match Irish butter. And I'd argue the point that the quality point there, because we have been approached by French retailers to stock our butters. So basically I missed Irish butter when I was in France. So coming back to Ireland, I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? I have absolutely no path set out for me, and I had this idea of starting out in farmers markets, as a lot of businesses do. I wasn't sure what the idea was going to be. I knew I wanted to have a product, and it just kept on coming back to this thing about Irish butter for me. And looking on the shelves and seeing what was there, I realised that actually, there was loads of innovation in and around the category of spreads and margarines, etc. But butter itself was relatively untouched. It was Kerrygold in Ireland, and then a lot of private label, so a lot of price competition and things like that. But nobody was really going in there and selling the benefits of butter. People were selling the benefits of spreads, of cholesterol reducing products, all this kind of added processed ingredients. No one was really selling the actual raw butter itself and what it was. So at the same time, it was quite interesting, because a lot of the medical research was coming out to say that previously we were advised not to eat saturated fats, that it was elevating blood cholesterol levels, causing heart disease. This was research from the 70s that was kind of starting to be a bit discredited. And I think the year we started, Time magazine came out with this front cover and it said "Eat butter," and that was like a picture of a piece of butter melting on it. So it was a great time for us, because the medical evidence was starting to be challenged, and it was starting to filter down into mainstream media. You couldn't open a Red Top nearly every day. There was a story about butter is good for you now, and high fat, low carb diets were coming back into fashion. Sugar started becoming the enemy. So it was quite fortuitous, the timing with us, but we wanted to do something a little bit different with butter. We wanted to be a modern butter brand, and really, I suppose, starting out in farmers markets, we didn't really have a clue about market research, about the type of customer that we were supposed to target. So we went in with really, really basic, simple packaging day one. It was just a simple brown paper and like a white label on it, and really we were selling the benefits of the products and how to use them. And it's been our evolution in the last 3 years, I suppose, that we've started to learn how we've had to really educate and target the customer. So the sales and the marketing has kind of come after the fact. We started off with the raw ingredient. We were in Smithfield manufacturing the products for the first year. That was 2013. So we did long days, long nights down in the Smithfield markets, where we purchased all our fresh herbs, fresh ingredients. So we became quite familiar with all the different suppliers down there. We originally bought our butter actually from Glanbia, so it was the Kerrygold butter that we were using day one. We weren't churning the butter ourselves. We were adding this great fresh flavour to the butters and promoting them as favourite butters for cooking with. So from there, I suppose we started to take ourselves a little bit more seriously and said, okay, our friends are now coming back from their years off travelling. What are we going to do? Are we going to continue on with this? Or are we going to get a real job? And we started to see traction in the business. So we were getting listings with Avoca, Fallon and Byrne, Donnybrook Fair, these kind of gourmet independent food stores. And at the same time, Super Value opened up their food academy to small food producers. So it was, again, timing was very good. Hannah and I got involved in the Super Value Food Academy program, and we realised that actually, there's a much bigger opportunity here to bring our products to a much wider audience. What we saw as the vision was to do something a little bit different with butter, was adding flavour to promote butter as a product to cook with, rather than just for spreading. And that was quite interesting as well, because, as I say, butter was becoming back in fashion, but at the same time, carbs and like the kind of sliced pan and toast wasn't cutting it for breakfast anymore. People were coming back into eating more eggs or blitzing up, spinach and spirulina in their NutriBullets and things like that. So they were looking to incorporate more fats into their diet, but in a different way. So we promoted Improper Butter to the Super Value Food Academy as well. This is a new way of using grass-fed Irish butter with flavour in it. So the Food Academy was quite successful for us. We got a listing in Dublin initially, and then from there they started to talk about national supply. So Hannah and I were still two of us in the production kitchen, and I mean, like, at that stage we were doing everything. We were doing the invoicing, the deliveries, the packaging, the sourcing, trying to get new stockists as well. So we realised that we were going to have to focus on what we would be good at and what we would like to be our core business, and then outsource the other aspects. So we decided to partner up with an outsourced manufacturing partnership, which we did at the end of 2014. So that is a company called Voa Foods that are based in Athlone, and they're a spin-off from a very established Irish company called Oliver Carty, who have long ties with Musgraves. And it was an amazing day for Hannah and I, because I mean, up until that point we'd been trying to prove ourselves and push every door that was closed, and trying to find a way in the window if the door was closed. And when we met the guys in Carty's that day, they presented to us and said, look, this is what we can do for you. We can create new products, we can drive volume, we can help you scale up, we can cover all of your health and safety accreditation. So it was really like a sort of a changing moment for Hannah and I, where we said, this is actually really like a viable business now. We have a manufacturing partner in place that we can actually develop and grow volume with these guys as our partners. So they say that was the end of 2014. Really 2015 was Super Value. So we concentrated on growing our national presence with Super Value, our sales and our marketing. We did a bit of a rebrand, and we worked with a company, Creative Inc. in Dublin, who had developed our current packaging that you see behind there. The name Improper Butter, actually, obviously that's kind of root and core to the brand. Im is the Irish word for butter, and proper because we're doing something proper with it. But it's not something that we've always really played upon, this Irishness, because we've kind of had a, I suppose, global ambition for the brand. So we prefer to use the Improper Butter, the improper words, to say that we're doing something a little bit novel, a little bit different with butter. And really where we found that's caught on has been with our younger audience, so with the millennial customers, the guys that are on Instagram, the guys that are in the gym, the girls girls that are, you know, into the makeup and the fashion, and they're trying to find brands that are transparent with people behind it, with the story. And Hannah and I have gotten quite a lot of, you know, coverage, I suppose, as two young businesswomen and things like that, and people have really latched onto that story, but they've also bought into the product as well because of that, because of the personality behind it. And there's some great examples across different food categories, such as, like, you know, proper corn and snacks, or maybe 15 years ago innocent drinks in the smoothie category as well. So what we've really realised is that the butter category is really consolidated and dominated by, you know, the Unilevers, the Glanbias, the Irish Dairy Board, or NUA, you know, the big players. So we've kind of come into this category quite small, but with a kind of drive and an ambition to really make our mark in on it. And from the Super Value Food Academy in 2015, we started to get our volumes up, and we started to see that there was a real opportunity here to do that and to promote butter to a younger consumer. And that's really where we've kind of, I guess, hit a bit of a sweet spot with our buyers, because the dairy category, the butter category itself, or butter spreads and margarines, the category that we're in, it's seeing growth in butter, it's seeing decline. This is in volume, it's seeing growth in butter, decline in margarines and spreads. But in value, it's really, really, really competitive, and everyone's trying to fight over that same piece of the pie. So with Improper Butter, we're trying to bring more consumers in. We're trying to not maybe replace their packet of Kerrygold, but they're going to buy our garlic and chilli butter to put onto their salmon for dinner that night, or onto their pasta. And that's really hit a bit of a sweet spot with the buyers. And you know, it's not something that we envisaged from day one, but we've had to kind of find our place, and, well, what are we? So from the Food Academy, we moved on to this year, 2016, and that's where we've really kind of gone, okay, there is an opportunity, we need to do the investment. So as Aaron spoke earlier about Enterprise Ireland and going through the rounds of funding, that's what we've been focused on this year. So we've done everything, I guess, like on a bit of a shoestring. We've had, you know, every bit of revenue that's been generated for the company has been reinvested from day one. We've had support from Board B, a local enterprise office, but, you know, there's literally nothing ever left in the bank. You know, sometimes to pay a salary, to develop a new product, to pay for your packaging. So we decided that we would part with some equity and bring in some investors and some experienced people as well in the industry. So we're just, as of last Friday, signed off on our private investment. So it's all about to land, and really our ambition now is that we've secured some UK listings with our products. We've gotten the attention of those buyers as well in Whole Foods, Ocado. We're speaking with Waitrose as well. But in order to really make the impact over there, we need to have more sales and marketing support on the ground. We need to play the game. We need to be up against the big guys, so we need to put money in behind the brand. We also do want to do a bit of a brand refresh as well. We really like the name of our product. It's stuck with people from day one. But we gave the branding, we gave the packaging and the branding actually away to agencies from day one as well, and actually that's something now that we want to bring in-house and be really, really core at, like, as our core expertise. So the funding is now going to enable us, I guess, to kind of get to that next level, moving on into the UK now and furthering our product range. We're doing, we do some seasonal varieties as well, so we have our Christmas range coming up. We've been thinking about Christmas since May, and we're looking into new product, limited edition products for next year as well. Similar to Arun, we're looking at, say, options to maybe partner up with other producers, so where we can tie Improper Butter into a ready meal solution. So if somebody's going to buy their salmon and then their Improper Butter, why can't we put the salmon and the Improper Butter together, or the chicken and the Improper Butter, or do the mashed potato with the Improper Butters through them? So we want to offer convenient meal solutions as well, in a space, again, targeting in at that same consumer, and the kind of the issues that they care about. So, you know, the people behind the brand, the sustainability. We're also part of the Origin Green programme. Our sourcing, we do talk about our suppliers and where our produce comes from. Might have to get on to Aaron about getting some chilli direct from source as well. So that's kind of what we do. That's kind of how we're trying to be different. We're not using added oils. We're not using palm oil. We can talk about that. The big guys are. So that's really it, I suppose. If anyone has any questions, I'll welcome them and give away some packets of butter.